appreciate that, man. He gave me 12 minutes to talk to you all, so I'm going to try and keep it to a first quarter of an NBA game, try and keep it to 12 minutes. Thank you, parents, for allowing me to speak to your kids today, and thank you all for getting connected with Next. What a great organization, an organization that's growing exponentially, and they're doing a great job with your young kids and your young men, and so I'm so excited to be here. Whenever I talk to kids, believe it or not, I get a little bit more nervous than I do when I talk to adults, because I know so much is on the line when I open my mouth when I'm speaking to kids. And a lot of times, parents think that they don't need to talk to kids like they're adults, but see, in 2017, the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders are just as grown as we were when we were 16 and 17 growing up. So the conversation and the dialogue needs to change. I know that something I say today, if you guys really allow it to be embedded in your heart, it can change your life for the rest of the year, for the rest of your life. See, I gave a statement, I gave a challenge to somebody last year, and I just threw it out to the whole group, but only one person out of 150 kids stepped up to give away their Christmas, stepped up to sow their Christmas and give their Christmas to another organization or another kid so that they can be happy, so that they can be proud. Out of 150 kids, but just that one person made such a large impact and such a large difference that they got the Heisman Trophy of Next basketball. Just imagine if 2 or 3 people could have made that same impact if they had to just use what I said to take their life to another level, because life is about giving, it's not about getting. They will teach you on the outside it's about acquiring things, about making sure that you score the game-winning basket. They're going to tell you that you need to make sure that you're the captain of the team. They're going to tell you that your name should be in the newspaper. But the reality is the best teammates and the best people make sure that the entire team's in the paper. Because when you win, everybody gets in the paper. Or you could lose and be like Russell Westbrook sitting at home right now. You can average a triple-double all season and be sitting at home right now. He's not going to get a ring. He's not going to be considered a champion. He may get the MVP, but what does that mean if you don't have a championship? Legends, people that are great, are judged on championships. And championships are won by teams. You guys are associated and affiliated with a great team here with Next. A great team here with Next. So every move you make, every decision you make from this day forward will impact the team. So when school starts in the fall and you decide that that project or your homework's not important enough and you'd rather be playing, I don't know, Call of Duty 6 or 7 or whatever we on right now, Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever we on right now, 2K17 or whatever it is, Madden Football 17, 18, when you decide those things are more important than your academics, what you're telling the team is you are more important than the team. And ultimately, as an individual, we don't care about you anymore. It's not about you. 4th, 5th, 6th grade, it's not about you. I don't even care what your dad or your mama told you. It is not about you. This is about changing your neighborhood. This is about changing how your family feels that they can make it because you made it. This is about your classmates thinking, man, if Dalton can do it, I can do it. If Stephen can do it, I can do it. If Malcolm can do it, I can do it. I can depend on them to push forward for us. It's not about you. I talk to young people all the time, specifically basketball players, 2nd grade all the way up, some of them professionals, but specifically the young people that want to go to the NBA. How many people want to go to the NBA? In your mind, your dream, I want to go to the NBA. Look how many people it is. You know that going to the NBA and dreaming about going to the NBA, it's all about math. If you guys don't like math, you will not make it. You will not make it. Well, what are you saying, Roy? All right, so here's the thing. In 2023, so about 6 years from now, it's estimated that there's going to be 8 billion people in this world. 8 billion people. 2023, 8 billion people. 53% of those people are estimated to be males, so men. So you got 53% of 8 billion. So if you do the quick math on it, it's about 4.2 or so billion people. So you got 4.2 billion men fighting for 300 NBA spots. And I do the whole world because you know the NBA draft, they draft people from America, Argentina, wherever you're from. If you can put a ball in the hoop and you're skilled, they will draft you. So we're talking about 300 people fighting for 4.2 billion people fighting for 300 spots. I can't even do the math on that. I'll do it for you. You take the 300 people that are in the NBA and you divide it by 4.2 billion. It's 0.000000071. Like, that's how small and almost impossible it is to make it to the NBA. Once you guys get eligible, because based on what Adam Silver's saying, he's going to allow high school players to go back to the NBA again. So in 2023, your chances of making it is 0.000000071. It's almost impossible, microscopic, very, very small. I'm not trying to discourage you, but what I'm saying is, number one, if your dream isn't small enough, if your dream doesn't seem impossible enough, if it's not small enough, you're not dreaming big enough. If what you want to become is not small enough, you're not dreaming big enough. But the other thing is, if you can't figure out the chances of you making it, if you can't go home and write down that equation, you really don't want to make it. You really don't want to go to the NBA. If you don't know the chances and how to get to that, if you're in 5th and 6th grade and you don't understand how to do long division, if you don't understand what it's going to take for you to get to the next level, you don't even deserve to be thinking about the NBA. Because if you want the NBA, you got to know how hard it is to get to the NBA. Your dreams have to be so small that they seem impossible. That's how big your dream has to be. It's so big that it's still small, and it's almost impossible. And what happens is adults do it all the time. They stop dreaming because it was too hard, it was too tough. It was too difficult, it was too challenging, so I gave up. But I hope that my son makes it. I hope that my son makes it to the NBA because I wasn't strong enough to endure what it took to make it. There's a reason why Coach Bailey chose next. And there's a reason why it's in lowercase e, capital X, capital T. Capital N, lowercase e, capital X, capital T. If you look at the logo, that's how it's laid out. Because that X symbolizes it's a shift. And the E in the middle, it's a reason because he chose it on purpose. And I know he did because it's a couple words that come to mind that start with EX that's very, very important to your success. In the last 3 minutes, I'm going to let you know what those are. Number one, excuses. Excuses. If you want to be next for a scholarship, next for an academic scholarship, next for an athletic scholarship, if you want to be next, you have to X out your excuses. You cannot deposit excuses. You can't depend on excuses. And you for sure cannot dominate with excuses. So once we figure out all the things that's keeping us from going to the next level, I'm too tired, coach doesn't like me, my mom didn't buy me the right shoes, I'm not even supposed to be on this team, my dad's not around, my mom's not around, I don't have a big brother, I don't have a basketball hoop at home, I don't have my own basketball. Like once you get rid of all those excuses, you'll start working closer and closer to that 0.000000071. But then the next thing that you need to understand from an X standpoint, so we said excuses. I like the words execution. Execution. See, what happens is you learn a lot of things on this basketball court in practice. Your coach is running you up and down the court in practice. You're shooting in the backyard with your dad in practice. But when it gets time for the games to come around, we don't execute. That's how you get the Golden State Warriors with 20 turnovers in game 2, 19 turnovers yesterday. Now, they were able to overcome it, but when you don't execute, you turn the ball over. You give other people opportunities. And when you don't execute the fundamentals of life, everything that you learn here, being disciplined, being respectful, being responsible, how to handle adversity. When you don't do those things, all of a sudden, the whole team fails. See, they got this thing when we're talking about execution, they got this thing in life, they say perception is reality. It's a lie. Perception is not reality. Perception is deception, and deception is infectious. And what I mean by that is every single time you watch Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Steph Curry hit a half-court three, LeBron James averaging a triple-double in the finals, all of a sudden you think you could do it. It looks easy. It looks very, very easy. So when your coach pushes you, when he yells at you, when he raises his voice, when he's yelling at you, and you're like, I don't know why he's doing that. He's so mean to me. You realize that it takes a little bit more than what you see. All of a sudden you think because you got a nice little crossover, you could do a Euro step. You think because Steph Curry can shoot from half court, you can do it too. Perception is not reality. Perception is deception. It takes hard work to do those things. Deception is infectious because once one person jacks a three, now another one jacks a three. Because my mom told me that I was just as good as him, but coach is not playing me because he was here last year. So I want to show off too. And next thing you know, it's a virus through the entire next basketball team because you thought what you saw was real. Perception is not reality. Perception is deception. But last but not least, it goes right along with my inflection of voice, exclamation. Exclamation. Now, I'm big on punctuation. My sister was an English major, so I'm always studying words and studying start and stops of sentences and grammar and different things and punctuation and constant, just all types of stuff, English, because I was challenging my sister. I wanted to be smarter than her, even though she majored in English in college. But the exclamation mark, and what I know about it is, number one, it says two things. Number one, it says passion. It means every time I step on the court, I'm going to be on 100. The problem with people is they have a turn on, turn off switch. I can't turn this off. I don't care if it's fifth graders or if it's 50-year-olds. It doesn't matter to me because I got one shot, got one heart. You got to have passion. Come into basketball ready to play. Go home ready to clean your room. Make sure it's excellent. Have energy. You got to have passion. It doesn't take talent to have passion. You can become a starter just by having passion. The other thing that it shows me, you know the exclamation mark. It's a long journey to get to one spot. It is a long journey to get to one spot. You know how to make an exclamation point? It's a long journey to get to one spot. That means you got all summer that you got to grow. You're going to have about 7 or 8 different speakers come in here and give you their take on what it means to be successful. You're going to go home and your mom and your dad are going to talk to you about what you need to get better at. And then this year you're going to have a different coach. And then next year. And then the year after that. And then it just goes on and on and on. It's a long journey to get to one of those 300 spots in 2023. So the question is, are you going to do what it takes to get to that one spot? Are you going to X out your excuses? Are you going to execute everything that you learn on a day-to-day basis from all the great speakers and everybody that you're going to have here? Are you going to listen to your parents? Are you going to do what's necessary in the classroom? Are you going to do what's necessary in the community? Are you going to give up? I don't have to change my challenge. The challenge still remains the same. On December 25 of 2017, who's willing to give up their Christmas so that somebody else could have something? Who's willing to do it? It's the same challenge every single year. Get rid of your excuses. Make sure you execute. Exclamation. It's a long journey to get to that one spot. It's up to you. They used to have this saying, I got next. We got next. I am next. I am next. I am next. I want you guys to repeat after me. I am. I am. I am next. Say it like you mean it. I am next. Say it like you mean it. I am next. Say it with passion. I am next. Stand up and say it. Stand up. I need to hear this. Stand up and say it. I want you to believe this. I am next. Make sure you X out those excuses and make sure you do everything in your life with passion and that exclamation point. Go Bucks.